Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and today I have a special interview for you. He is a cosmetic quadrilateral limb lengthening patient. Please enjoy the interview with Liam. All right, everyone, today we have a very special guest joining us. He is a quadrilateral cosmetic stature lengthening patient who underwent bilateral lengthening of both his femurs and tibias with the Precice 2 internal lengthening nails. Please join me in welcoming Liam. Hey Liam, what's up, man?
Thank you, Victor. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here tonight.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's right. It's night over there. And where are you right now? You're in
Istanbul.
Istanbul, Turkey. That's right. So yeah, it's got to be, I think it's an 8-hour difference. So thanks for coming on, man. First of all, anytime we can get a patient on to share their experience about their lengthening procedure, it's really inspiring to other people who are looking to do the same thing, especially a quadrilateral procedure, because we haven't had any of those. We've had a discrepancy patient, we've had a cosmetic patient who just did femurs, but now we have a quadrilateral. So for the audience who's watching, if you don't know what a quadrilateral lengthening is, it's when you lengthen both the femurs and the tibias so you can get maximal height gain or lengthening done. So, all right, man. So just to give us some context, you just completed your lengthening phase a few weeks ago, right?
Absolutely correct. I'm done with the lengthening phase now. We are at the consolidation phase since 3 weeks, and this will continue for the next 2 weeks. And then we will go again with new X-ray pictures to see how the bone creation is going on and to go ahead with the next steps.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations for making it through the hardest part, because now it's just heal, and then you're back to your normal life. So, I want to kind of go a little bit, to the background a little bit of like, when did you first start to hear about leg lengthening?
The first time I heard about limb lengthening was roughly 13 years ago, when I was done with my study and started to work and again gained my first money.
Okay.
I was looking for ways in order to increase my height, and back at that time the technology was not really advanced. They were just the external systems, and it was really expensive and time consuming. Yeah. So this was the time where I was hearing the first time about the lengthening, but not really followed because of the time, money, and this technology was not really making me comfortable.
Yeah, and that's kind of like echoing to my ears, because several patients have said it, that the devices have been one of their deciding factors. If they can have it internally, they definitely try to go for it. And why did you decide to get it done this year of all years? I mean, we had the whole pandemic thing. A lot of people are getting it done during the pandemic because they're able to they're taking time off. But it's also kind of a very hard year for a lot of people. What was your reason?
Absolutely. The main reason was Corona crisis, the pandemic, because I need my physical health for my business. And this Corona crisis led us in the aviation business where I am, right, to have a really tough time. And the employer asked many employees in order to ask for unpaid leaves. And this was really a good chance for me to take a quite long time off from my business in order to go for my limb lengthening surgery.
Ah, okay. So you found an opening, you took it. I like it. Opportunistic. What were your thoughts that led to making the decision to kind of go forward with it? Because I mean, even though you know about the procedure and there's an opportunity, there's still a lot that goes into the decision to kind of go through with it. What kind of was that final straw where you said, you know what, I just got to take action and go for this?
I mean, the fact that we will have a quite good time off in the winter time, where I did my surgery, and with the discussions what I had with the doctor, and I had the chance to visit different patients with different systems. I visited in the hospital a patient with the internal system, and then another patient with the external system. Okay. So I could make a clear picture about the systems, and where every point came together was a time where I could get off, and the new advanced technology, which gives me a comfortable feeling with the Precice 2 internal system. And at the last point, the price, which was a really good offer for me, which led me altogether to the decision I will go for it.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you had some really good factors that played into it there. And were you scared at all? I mean, like, I know I was a little skeptical and a little worried about what was going to happen over there. And I was going through with it, but at the same time, I had a little bit of nerves running through my head. Were you a little nervous as well?
I was not really nervous, or I was not scared. I was at the day of the surgery really happy and in a good mood, because I came to the point where I was looking since my whole life.
Yeah.
I think my scaredness was gone because of a really good preparation and information change between the physiotherapical center, from the doctor, other patients who I went to see in the hospital. So it took a quite good time in order to make a research, which took all my fears and my scaredness about this procedure. At the point where we were at the hospital on the day of the surgery, I was happy, really
Wow.
happy.
Wow, that's well, you're you're one of the first to say that's amazing. Well, very cool, man. I'm happy for you. And let's say that now that you have the procedure done, you had gotten quadrilateral done, and you had both the femurs and the tibias. Let's talk a little bit about that process, because which bone did you get done first?
It was the femur part.
The femur
We
part.
did it on the 12th of October 2020, last year.
Okay.
And we kept 4 days of a rest in the hospital, and then we continued with my tibia bones.
Yeah.
And then we went with all 4 bones.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely like a different type of way of doing that. And I when I first started talking to you, we were talking about that, and it was like, that was really rare. Did the femurs and then the tibias a few days later, were you still like, after you had the femurs done, were you like a little skeptical of getting the tibias done, or were you like, let's just get it all done? This is what I signed up for. I want to finish the.
I was really just going into it, and there's just pushed the whole team. We will go all together. The first surgery on the Monday, on the 12th of October, I was forcing the doctor to do all the four parts at the same time. He just said, I will see how this first part will go on, and then I will decide while we have the surgery for the tibias. And then when I was waking up from the first surgery, he said, okay, it will be too much, so we will keep it resting for a couple of days, and then we will go for the tibias. Wow. On the day, the doctor in the morning came in and said, are you sure you want to go for the tibias as well? I said, is there any risk? Is there anything which is something against it? Said, no, but it's your choice. I said, yeah, we'll go for it. I was completely clear what I want. So even the doctor was somehow asking me, do you want to keep it for 6 months? We have the nails here. We can keep it for 6 months, 1 year, and we can go again for it. But I was completely clear. I will never have again the chance for getting off from my business for 3, 4, 5 months.
Right.
So I said, we'll go for it. That was my goal and my intention, and I did it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So you just had to kind of take advantage of the opportunity that you were given, and you did it. And Liam, how tall were you before you started your lengthening process?
I was exactly 170 centimeters.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so 170 centimeters, and you got quadrilateral lengthening, both the femurs and the tibias. How much length did you get in each of the segments?
Roughly on the femurs, something above 7 centimeters.
Okay.
And on the tibias, something above 5 centimeters. So in total, we gained 12.4 centimeters.
Wow, that's incredible, man. So 12.4 centimeters. Yeah. And you're done your lengthening. So you finished your lengthening a couple of weeks ago. So it only took you about, what was that, like 8 weeks to finish your lengthening process?
Let's say 9 weeks.
Exactly. 9 weeks. That's incredible, man. That is so cool. And then you're almost near 5 inches taller. That's almost, pretty much. Very cool. And so, and when we were talking also a little bit prior, you said that you may have found out some information that you also might be one of the first quadrilateral lengthening patients who had the Precice 2 nail system used for you, because in the world, right?
When we started talking about the quadrilateral lengthening, the doctor said, you will be the first one in Turkey.
Okay.
So he was not really aware that we will be the first worldwide to do the quadrilateral limb lengthening with the Precice 2 nails. So far, we asked a couple of times the New Wave Company or other sources in order to confirm it. But it seems to be we are the first one worldwide with the Precice 2 nails.
That's pretty incredible, man. How do you feel about setting history? It's like I'm the first one.
I mean, there was no intention at all to set any history. So my only goal was to get taller, to get done with my desires.
Yeah.
And at the end, I'm believing in technology. I'm working in a highly technological environment, and I completely believe in technology and development.
Right.
And it is a good feeling that we have achieved something where we can prove other people what might be possible with the technologies if you believe and if you go with the technologies without any fear or without any other doubts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I think that the advancements made in limb lengthening is, truly incredible of what they're able to do. And that's what's really breaking the barriers of people saying, okay, you know what, they've improved the technology. It's a little safer now. It's less stress for the patient. And the patient goes through with it and they're usually happy on the other end. I did internal lengthening, you did internal lengthening, and, we're happy campers. So very cool. And let's see here. So before the surgery, were you into like any type of physical activities such as working out or playing any sports or anything like that?
Absolutely. I mean, if you go to a doctor and you're asking for quadrilateral lengthening, nobody will say, hey, let's go for it, and then we will do it. There's a huge preparation part before the surgery,
Mm-hmm.
including a psychological support and a dietist where you can talk about your nutrition, your food, what you need to take before the surgery and after the surgery. And the most important part is physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Before we went with the surgery, we were evaluating my muscles and my skeleton in order to see whether this guy is able to undergo an limb lengthening surgery or not. So your muscles must fit into something, a process like this.
Mm-hmm.
And after we get a positive feedback that the limb lengthening surgery won't be a problem, we went 2 weeks for a tough muscle and stretching training,
Mm-hmm.
which helped us a lot, which is really so important.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe up to 50% of the whole process is physical therapy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I preach it all the time on my YouTube channel. It's one of the most important parts for any type of surgery, but definitely for limb lengthening, because you're literally stretching the soft tissues. And if they can't keep up, you're going to have problems down the line. So it definitely seems like you were able to, keep ahead of that issue. Very cool. And were you worried that you might lose any physical abilities or athleticism on the other end, essentially now?
I did not. I mean, I was completely aware that after the surgery, I will not be able to jump for the next 6 months or 7 months for marathon runs or any heavy sports. Yeah, I know. I'm completely aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But with the facts, what we have achieved before the surgery, my muscles were completely suitable for the surgery. Your skeleton, the proportions are good after the surgery. If you reach 13, this was the initial goal, 13 centimeters.
Yeah.
If you reach it, the proportions will be good.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the facts what we have gained, it gave me a good feeling that
Mm-hmm.
I will be come out with a good conclusion after 1 year. I mean, you will be able to walk and do your business as usual after the third or fourth month, but you will go for heavy sports after 1 year or something like that.
Absolutely. That's usually when the body starts to kind of make that rebound and come back from it. Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about your surgical process, the lengthening process. Initially, for your femur surgery, let's talk about pain levels. Did you feel any type of like a massive amount of trauma or pain after getting the femurs done?
To be honest, no. I mean, you are under heavy medication after the surgery. I mean, if you came out of the surgery room, the first day you are not really recognizing anything. You just need your time for yourself. You're under heavy medication, but the following 4 days, I barely used painkiller medicine because I don't need it. I just had the feeling that I had something heavily lies on my femurs, and it was an uncomfortable feeling, a really uncomfortable feeling. But the pain level was completely low.
Okay, that's impressive because that's another first, because a lot of people do say that they feel a lot of pain. Then again, there are a few patients that tolerate it really well, and they have different ways of masking that
Even the
pain.
doctor told me. I mean, there was two levels of medicine, painkiller medicine. I mean, the usual one,
Yeah,
and then a booster. You have a knob where you can boost again the painkiller medicine.
yeah.
And I didn't touch it at all after
Wow.
the surgery. So he
Yeah.
was rise as well, I said, I don't feel any pain because it was really not comfortable, but it was a level what you can prevail without any medicine. At least it was for me at that level.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm wondering what they used on you. I mean, because if you didn't use PCA, they must have used some really good epidural anesthetic to keep you pain free. And then what about the tibial surgery? Because you had that 4 days later, you said, right? Was that one also pain free?
No, the pain,
No.
the pain,
Okay.
and then the pain started where I have used the painkiller medicine,
Okay.
which is normal. So you are starting to use the medicine and to manage the pain level to a really good level, and it was completely manageable. But
Okay.
then painkiller medicine for sure.
I got you. So the tibias were a little bit more sensitive than the femurs. Okay.
I have to be honest. Till today,
Yeah.
I didn't had any problems of. I didn't felt any pain in my femur parts. I don't know why. But on
Wow.
the tibia, it's something different,
That's
completely something different.
yeah.
But the femur
I'm
part was completely comfortable.
I can't believe that. That's like literally like really astounding because I mean they did lengthen them, and but the fact that you don't have any pain to this day, that's amazing. What about during the lengthening phase? Because now we are stretching out the soft tissues, almost. And again, a lot of people, when you get quadrilateral lengthening, you have your whole posterior kinetic chain, all the muscles in your backside of your body are interconnected. And even though you're lengthening one portion, it tugs and pulls on that lower portion too. And if you're doing both segments, it can get really tight. Were you feeling any type of tautness or tight muscles or type of uncomfortable pain during the lengthening phase?
Um, we started with the extension in the hospital after the 8th or 9th day, and it was pain free.
Okay.
And I didn't felt any muscle stiffness or something like that. But we immediately started with physiotherapeutic support. The stuff came in. I mean, we were both set up a team for my surgery. We were 6 persons
Wow.
in total who were completely dealing with my process. And once the doctor said, okay, now we can start with the physical therapy in the bed, we started with some moves and so on. So it was making myself a little bit comfortable. But while the extension continued, the pain level increased. So it's like, I mean, you break your bone somewhere and the pain is there, and the pain goes down day by day.
Right.
You use medicine and so on, the healing phase starts immediately. It's completely vice versa with the limb lengthening. The pain level increases if you approach to your destination. I mean, to your height goals. So at the beginning, it was completely manageable.
Okay. But then as time went on, it got a little tighter along the way. And then what about during like physical therapy? Because we all know that, just lengthening the bone can be tight, but then when you're stretching those muscles too and breaking down those tissues, did you start to feel a little bit of discomfort there?
Absolutely. But at the beginning, again, it was comfortable.
Okay.
After an height of where I reached 9 centimeters in total, I started to feel that my calves were getting tight, and my hamstring muscles were tighter. So we did every day 3 times muscle training. We stretched my muscles 3 times a day, and you saw that it gets tougher day by day. So you need to work out harder, and then you feel yourself tired. So the end phase, it's really a phase where you have to stick on it. You are going to a hard, that was the only hard time. After 9 centimeters to 12 centimeters, this was another 15 to 17 days where it was a little bit harder, where the pain level increased because you're doing a lot of training, you extending the gap between the bones, and whatever you do with the exercises, it diminishes with every millimeter of extension, and it's just like you're catching up the muscles, which is getting tougher and tougher.
Right. And but you're preaching it. It's like physical therapy. That's one of the most crucial aspects of this whole thing. So, Liam, let's talk a little bit about like some other aspects. What about like sleep? Because we know that's also very vital, important to this whole process. Most lengthening patients say that sleep is very hard to come by. Did you have the same experience?
I said we had a really good preparation at the beginning before the surgery.
Uh-huh.
But this was something what didn't I put into account, and this caused me the uncomfortable lying in bed
Yeah.
caused me pain in my back,
Okay.
and more than the surgery on my legs, and I had really problems with sleeping
Okay.
because I need my comfortable position in my bed. It must be really everything must be good in order to have a tight sleep. So it was something which really hit me hard through all the phases, and I was just managing it with some support devices like an air mattress, where we had different bubbles which gets up and then down, so you had some movement in your back,
Okay.
and this helped me in order to manage my sleep a little bit. But this was something what I didn't put into account, but caused me a lot of problems.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. Sleeping is definitely a very, one of the aspects that can be really hard to come by during lengthening, because it's just like you have to sleep on your back, and most people I know like to sleep on their side or some other way. Sleeping on your back is not comfortable. But what about right now? Like, right now, as you're sitting here talking to me, do you feel any like a pain in your legs right now? You said no for the
No,
fingers.
I
Really?
completely stopped taking any painkiller medicine after the lengthening was done.
Yeah.
This is since roughly 3 weeks. And
Wow.
within the 3 weeks, I took just 2 times some painkiller medicine, lower level painkiller medicine, where we had a tough physical therapy exercise.
Okay.
But I don't need it at all. So
Wow.
really, you don't need it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, definitely, you probably have a higher pain tolerance, but that's amazing. Once the lengthening is done, if you can handle it, that's really awesome. And what about like the swelling and the inflammation right after the surgery? Were your legs kind of swollen, or kind of like, did you have to use ice packs? What type of like therapy did you use there?
So with the fact that we used the internal system, the risk of inflammation is really low, and we didn't have any inflammation on my legs.
Wow.
It's just swallowing. It's a normal process, I think. If you would
Absolutely.
undergo such a process, it goes sometimes up, and then you just put your legs up and to put some massage, ice packs, and so on. It's something that you can deal, but this is something which will be accompanied with the process. Till today, I have sometimes swallowed feet. This will go down again overnight, or if you put your legs up.
Yeah.
So, but absolutely manageable.
Wow, man, that's really cool. Great tips there. And yeah, I always did the same thing with putting my leg up, and it was kind of helping with the keeping the inflammation down. And what about getting around? Because we know that the Precice 2 internal nail system is not fully weight bearing as the stride nail is. So how did you manage? I mean, you had all four weight bearing limbs, the tibias and the femurs, done. Obviously, you had the fibulas, but they don't weight bear as much. But being out of commission like that, how did you get around? Was it like, I mean, yeah, tell us about your experience.
Exactly, that was some the questions what we couldn't answer with the doctor at the beginning,
Yeah.
because there's no experience level with patients who did a quadrilateral lengthening. So we approached everything in a really cautious way. We were completely cautious. Maybe we were too cautious. Usually, if you just go for your femurs, on the next day you start with the walker to do the first steps and so on. I did it in the hospital after my femur surgery. On
Right.
the next, I was with the walker on my foot, and then I did this first steps. That's absolutely not a problem. But with the tibia
Yeah.
coming on top, I felt somehow pain at the places where the nails were
I
when
see.
I put weight on my foot. So I discussed it with the doctor, and with the non-experience with such a kind of a surgery, we decided to be more cautious and not to put really much heavy on the bones. So we just did some walk arounds with the walker, but not too much. We were completely cautious with that. But this put us as well to a negative part where the muscles were melting faster, getting weak, and so on. So which leads us now to a heavier training what we need.
I see. I see. Yeah, and I think that's one of the drawbacks between the original Precice, the Precice 2, and then now we have the Stride. The Stride, being able to walk, you have those muscles engaged, but the nail is stronger, but in the Precice 2 and the Precice, it's not. But you were just being cautious. You had all four. There's no experience. So you guys did it the right way. And now you're coming back with this training. I love it.
I
And
mean, if I can
yeah.
mention, even the first goal was 13 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
And while we approached to 10 centimeters, the doctor said, okay, we achieved something which is good. You are doing really good. Let's stop at 11 centimeters. This is a huge success. And said, no, come on, we will go for it, and so on. And we agreed to stay roughly at 12 centimeters, what we achieved at the end. But today, with the experience what we gained, it is easily you can go for 13, 14 centimeters if you if you are carefully with some items. This is not a problem, but you lose your mobility, so you will not be able to walk around and enjoy the life like with a stride system.
Yeah.
But completely possible.
Okay, well, that's really good news to hear about the Precice 2. I mean, because you went through it and now you're on the other side of it, so you did it. It's possible. And then what about taking, doing things like taking showers, or like your daily routine? What was it like for like making food and things like that? Take us through your day. Like, what was your experience like there?
I was completely aware that I need a support at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I hired someone for roughly 3 months.
Okay.
Full-time job, was sleeping in the apartment and so on, preparing the food, cleaning up everything, being with me, and even to deal with my medicine, what I have to take, antibiotics and so on.
Right.
So she tracked everything. So she get a completely information package from the doctor, what kind of a surgery we went, what is important, and so on. And she were completely 3 months with me, and helped me out with everything, with healthy food and so on, which was really good. But you need it, so you are not able to do everything by yourself.
I agree. I think that the support system is super important, especially if you're getting something like quadrilateral lengthening, where half your body is essentially incapacitated for months.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And then for things like proportions, we got to talk about this, Liam, because now we're getting into one of the big worries that a lot of people have for leg lengthening. If they just lengthen their femurs, well, then now their tibias are too short for their femurs. And if they lengthen, and also their leg length. So what is your thoughts about the proportions? Was this a big concern for you going into the procedure? And now that you have it done, what are your thoughts about how you look in terms of proportionality?
Before the surgery, we were talking about the goals. We set it up 13 centimeters, and there are some various computer programs where you can put the different height levels into your femur part, tibia parts, and then you see exactly the proportions from your upper body part and the lower leg parts, let's say. Yeah. And you see, let's say, if I would go beyond 15 centimeters, it will be not looking nice.
Yeah.
But being at 12 and 13 centimeters, what a good combination of my complete body, the upper part and the lower part, the legs. Which gave me a good feeling with the decision to go for roughly 5 centimeters with the tibia bones, and then 7 to 8 centimeters with the femur part, which is still below the maximum levels, which is recommended in the field of limb lengthening.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so you stayed within those safe ranges, and you were able to kind of mitigate the proportion issue at the same time. Very cool. And this for the proportions, do you now see your legs being, obviously they're longer now, do you see in terms of like your arm length compared to your leg lengths, are you comfortable with that?
Absolutely comfortable. I mean, if I lie myself to the surface sometimes, and just like completely stretched with everything, and still my arms are getting to a good proportion of my femur part, which is completely fine.
That's as long, they always say, as long as you can reach those pockets and you're good to go. Very cool. And you said that you're still doing physical therapy right now?
Absolutely. I just took a rest for 1 week now because I felt myself tired and exhausted, and with a tough continuing physical therapy, at a point you get exhausted. So sometimes it's really important to hear to yourself, to your internal voice, And if you need a rest, go for it. And I decided myself this week I will have a rest.
Yeah.
And usually I go 3 times, 4 times a week to the physical therapy, which is tough, which is really not easy. But it's really important. And you see every time, therapy by therapy, that your muscles are getting more flexible. You reach more flexibility and so on. That's nice, but it is hard. It is not an easy relaxation massage or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of work involved with the physical therapy. It's not, you're going to war each time you do it until you get that full range of motion back. And you said that you prepared ahead of time before the surgery, working with a professional, kind of get those muscles loose and stuff like that. How long did you do that for? You said earlier.
Physical therapy, we took intensive training for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
2 weeks intensive training, which were completely fine in order to extend the muscles, which helped us heal. Really.
Yeah, especially if you're working with a professional that knows what they're doing. Very cool. And do you think it's important that somebody, they have the patients who get lengthening done, they don't just get it done and try to do therapy on their own, but they see a physical therapist throughout the lengthening phase?
I think this is something where you decide whether you will have a successful limb lengthening or unsuccessful limb lengthening. Just to extend your bones, this is not a problem.
Yeah.
The biggest part lies within the muscles, where you lose your flexibility, level of motion, and so on. So you have to gain the same or better level after the limb lengthening surgery, where you have a normal ordinary life. So a good preparation before the surgery and after the surgery with a professional team of physical therapists are really important. Whether you took a video program which is completely focused on limb lengthening surgeries, or you work with a therapy center which is experienced in the field of limb lengthening, doesn't matter, but you have to go and stick with them. Because if you go to ordinary physical therapists, they will recommend you to do something, but they will not keep in mind that you have 6 broken places at your legs. Or they will not really be able to handle with that. But the guys who had already experience with limb lengthening, they can approach it in a more professional way.
Yeah,
this is really vital for this process.
absolutely.
Vital.
I'm glad that we're really hashing down on that. And you mentioned that you were really exhausted with energy levels during the lengthening process and during physical therapy. What would you say your energy levels are like now during the consolidation phase? Are you more like kind of alert and just feel better about yourself, like energy wise?
Absolutely. I feel myself day by day better. I sleep better. I'm started to sleep for 6-7 hours a day.
Wow.
Uninterruptedly.
Wow.
I mean, that is quite good.
Yeah.
And yeah, even the awakeness, I mean, the clearness in your mind is completely different.
Yeah.
While I had the extension phase, it was something where you put the device 3 times a day on your 4 places in your legs to extend it, and then you did some muscle stretch training and so on. At this stage, you get tired.
Yes.
You get really, you have to stick to it. You have to keep up the professional attitude for this. But we are all humans. We get exhausted. We get done with everything, and you want to go out, do something else. Sorry, but at the end, I felt myself really exhausted.
Oh wow,
And
that's yeah. But now you're back to your good spirits, and it's like that really you rebounded really well, and it's just like get through the dark times, and then there's light on the other side. And then
if I may say, I wouldn't say it's a dark time. It's a time where you have to keep up your motivation as much as possible high, where you need to stick to your professional attitude, which is really important, and keep always the destination in mind, to have a better life, to be taller, and more self-confident, confident, and better feeling.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think that it's a term that I like to use is called mental manifestation. It's like envision the end goal as you already achieving it, and then you'll get there a lot easier.
And I tell you a secret which kept my, I had some lows of motivation where I was really said, oh, come on, I'm not in the mood to do it today. Shall we skip it for today? And so on, this lengthening, the extension. And where I felt myself with my motivation really low, I just invited a couple of friends who were taller than me before the surgery. And then I took my walk and stood up and then compared myself to them who were taller than them. This gave me a boost, really a boost of motivation. This is a good idea. Maybe it's a secret.
It's like compare your height.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Or if you have nobody around, just mark something on the wall and each day you say, oh, now I'm up here.
I did this as well. I did this as well.
You did it?
I did this as well, yeah.
That's so
on my door.
Right. It's because that's the main reason you're doing this for. So if you're seeing it actually work, that's a motivational factor. So very cool. And then you also mentioned nutrition and like, you know, the vitamins and stuff is pretty important. What type of like diet did you focus on?
I mean, there was something theoretical, something practical. What you do if you are lying the whole day in bed or sitting around and not doing so much stuff. I mean, there were within my team we had a dietist. Okay, she completely took my BMI, took the level of fat and so on, and made a list of what should I eat and how can I prepare myself. What we did and what might be a key factor for the good healing was that we did something which is not ordinary, but 9 days before the surgery, we stopped completely with every liquid other than water. So no coffee, no tea, no juices, nothing, just water, really just water. And there were some studies that say if you are continuing this for 9 days, your blood will be more clear, your metabolism will be better, and the way of healing of the body will be better by 30%. So this might be a helpful thing. But after the surgery, when I was lying there and sitting here, I skipped somehow the theoretical part and went to some non-healthy food as well, which is okay. I think.
Absolutely.
But you have to go for proteins, some really good minerals, calcium, magnesium, which are really important. I took since the day one of my preparation for the surgery, so 2 weeks before the surgery till today. I take every day collagen.
Collagen, yes, that's a big one.
Every day since then, without any off days. So and for sure healthy food. So the housemate, which we took for 3 months, were completely instructed how to cook what we need. And well, I think it was a good support. It's important to be carefully with the things what you eat.
No, definitely. I think that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people skip over that, but that's how your body's going to heal itself, is rest and nutrition. It's great to hear that you were really focused on that as well. And of course, you can have yourself what's that?
It's really hard.
It is.
You're sitting here watching a series or any movies, and then you can't go for chips or chocolate.
Right.
I'm a lazy boy. I like to enjoy the life with chocolate and sweet and unhealthy stuff, but okay, I have to stick to it.
Right. That's all about the goals, Liam. It's all about the goals. Very cool. And you mentioned the support system. Was it just the caretaker, or did you have friends and people that were close to you that you knew about this and they kind of supported you, or was it kind of just a close circle? How far out did your support network stretch? And what do you recommend to people who are considering quadrilateral lengthening?
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you take a quadrilateral lengthening or just a lengthening on a femur or tibia. The people around you will get really scared and worried about this. So first of all, you need to be completely clear what you want and whether you will go for it or not. If you are completely self-confident and you are completely clear that you want this, you should. I just shared the information with 2 people, my girlfriend and my best friend. Even my family wasn't informed about this.
Oh my!
After this first surgery, I told that I did something like that to my close family members. For 1 month, I kept it secret to other people. It's not because because I was ashamed or something like that. I just needed the energy for myself in order to get together. I was not able to explain myself to all the people around me. But after 1.5 months, I started to explain everybody what I did if they asked me. I'm not going there, hey, I did my lip lengthening, but people ask me, hey, where are you, and so on. I said, okay, I had a surgery. What kind of a surgery? I told them straight. This is what I have done. This was my wish, and I just go for it. And I don't care about people who are judging people about something like that. It was my wish. It is my desire to get taller, and if I can change something, I will do it. And there was a possibility, so I went through it.
I love your mindset towards that. A lot of people, they take a different approach, and it's fine. I don't condemn anybody about it, but it's like, I really like that you say that. I don't care what anybody thinks about this. I'm doing it, but it's true. During the lengthening, it's like your energy is expended in 10 different ways. You're not going to want to say, okay, well, a leg lengthening procedure is this, and this is why I did it. You know, you're not going to want to explain it, but towards the end, when you're feeling better, and if one person comes at you at a time through a door, you can tell them, no problem. You know, I was the same way, even during my process. I didn't tell everybody. I just said, you know, I had a procedure, you know, I had a leg lengthening procedure, or broken leg. So very cool, Liam. I love this. I mean, well, look at you, man. You're done your lengthening process. You went from 170 centimeters, which is, I think that's like what, like 5'6", 5'7", to 184 centimeters, which is incredible. 182 centimeters. Oh my gosh. In the matter of like less than 3 months, and you're doing really well. So congratulations for making it through there.
Put your fingers for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'll keep my fingers crossed. But do you have any other final words to, you know, patients who are considering, you know, stature lengthening, whether it's for just the femurs, the tibias, both, or any type of leg lengthening procedure? I mean, you went through this hard, arduous journey, and now that you're on the other side of it, you have a lot of insight and words of wisdom.
Absolutely. First of all, everybody who's thinking about a limb lengthening needs to be completely clear. This is not an easy surgery. It is the heaviest cosmetic surgery within medicine. And you need to be clear what kind of process you are starting. So your attitude needs to be completely adjusted. It's like I forget to put into account how I will sleep. So it caused me a lot of problems. So if you go ahead with a wrong attitude, easy attitude, I will go and extend my legs, and then I will have a nice 3 months of relaxing time. No, it's not. You need to keep a professional attitude. You need to set your goals. You stick to your goals, keep a professional attitude, hard work, with a good team, with professional people around you. This is important. Don't go to a doctor who don't have a team, who is not working with physical therapists or people or videos who are not completely adjusted to physical, to limb lengthening. So stick to your goal, attitude, people around you, and then continue the hard work, and you will come to your destination with a bigger height, and I have a better feeling.
Yeah.
Believe me, after my first goal was 10 centimeters. Once I have reached 10 centimeters, it was like a switch completely clicked in my mind. So I don't feel myself small anymore.
Wow.
This is completely gone. This is
That's so cool.
Something, a feeling what I can't describe. I mean, you have to see the world with my eyes now.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Even now, after 3 months of torture, I have a smile on my face, and I feel myself really good. And I just looking ahead to walk normally, to go normally, and enjoy my new life.
Wow, man, I'm so happy for you. It's crazy how happy I'm for you because of the fact that, you know, you went through the hard, you know, battles, and you got the reward, you know, and you had the right mindset, because I think that's one of the biggest things that you just touched on, is having the right mindset about this thing. Well, you deserve it. You deserve it. And I'm glad you came on to share your story with those who are considering the procedure, because it's going to be super valuable to them. Now, for anybody who wants to reach out to you, Liam, do you have any forms of contact and ways they can reach out to you?
Absolutely. I have a webpage where you can contact me, where we can talk about limb lengthening surgery, about my experiences and so on my Instagram, Facebook, and so on. Just get in contact with me, and we will talk about your intentions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get those from you and I'll post it in the show notes so everybody can get those. They can reach out to you and ask you any questions that they have. Awesome. Well, all right, everyone. That is cosmetic limb lengthening patient Liam, who went from 170 centimeters to 182 centimeters. And he just shared some very, very big, valuable, insightful tips for anybody who's considering the procedure. So Liam, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. And we wish you well.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Well, I hope you guys liked that interview with Liam. He shared some really valuable tips and showed that with a realistic goal and a positive mindset, anything could be possible. If you're interested in reaching out to Liam, I'll post all of his contact information in the show notes. Until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out.